What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe, hit that like on the way in. Let's jump into this Bitcoin technical analysis. Everybody, I'm in another hotel. I'm in another hotel. I've been driving 10 hours today, and I haven't even looked at the charts until now. And I see very interesting things going on. That's why I want to do a quick technical analysis for you. I'll be back in the studio in the next couple of days. I'm very excited, but let's jump in. Bitcoin on the monthly. I did a video yesterday. Is Bitcoin about to crash? Check it out if you didn't. It talks about Bitcoin. It's overbought on the monthly. There is such a strong case for downside for Bitcoin, and I have such a strong, heavy accumulation area if this happens for Bitcoin, and it's incredibly important for me to continue talking about that. Not in a bearish way, everybody. I'm so bullish on Bitcoin. This would be probably like one of my biggest singular buys if we get this dip on Bitcoin, because what's going to transpire after that is extremely bullish to me. And really, it has a lot to do with this. This is the bull market high to the bear market low. And you can see Bitcoin has broken into the bull market. We know this. And on the monthly chart, it's just been going crazy. Now, what I want to talk about is how this kind of translates, this monthly chart translates to the daily chart and to the 6 hour. So here we are on the monthly. We talk about this 1618 line. This is the 1618 on this macro Fibonacci that I just charted. Here are the bull market doors. That's the 618 to the 786. We broke that. We're in the bull market. And then the 1618 line. Now, if we look and we go to the daily chart, and actually let me note where that 1618 line is. That's around 30,000, a little bit over $30,000. Now, here's the daily chart. Here is the 1618 line. Now, this is really, this is like the biggest area that I'm watching for Bitcoin. Look how confluent, let me zoom in here. That line is this macro 1618 line with this 50-day moving average. And Bitcoin has already kind of tested that and bounced off for support a couple of times. And right now, Bitcoin just hovering still above those two areas, the 1618, the macro, and the 50-day moving average. And that is the biggest key area for me. Now, if we take this a step further, right now, we're going to track really what's going on in real time. I charted this yesterday. It's just trend lines all over the place. It's just a mess. It depends what chart you want to do, what YouTuber you want to watch, what chart you want to look at on Twitter. But there are trend lines all over the place. And sorry if you can hear my daughter screaming in the background. Trend lines all over the place. She don't like it. My daughter's like going crazy because the trend lines are just, they're going crazy. So this right here is the most important trend line. And this doesn't matter really what pattern you're watching, what pattern you're looking at. This is an upper trend line that Bitcoin has really just seen resistance from that swing high beginning of January, almost a month now, and it continues to see resistance. On the very short term, we're looking at like right around $34,000. Bitcoin's right below that. What's going to happen in the hours ahead, as we go into overnight, into early morning, we'll track that. Now, on the flip side of that, that's resistance. That's a really key trend line. The flip side, if we're remembering what we just discussed, the 1618 line of that macro Fibonacci and the 50-day moving average, right around 30,000, it's like $30,500 to $31,000. And if we go to this chart, we're looking at, right around here. And what is that confluent with? That is confluent with this new trend line. And this is an adjusted lower trend line from this lower trend line. This was a symmetrical triangle that we talked about a lot on this YouTube channel. And now we really do. We have a couple more higher lows, 1, 2. So we have a realistic lower trend line here. But that lower trend line has a lot of meaning right now because Bitcoin is confluent with that trend line, the 1618 right here on the macro and the 50-day moving average. And so if we go to this chart, that is where the biggest key support is for Bitcoin. We're looking at literally right around $30,500 to $31,000. If Bitcoin is going to kind of test that area, what is Bitcoin going to do? And that's probably what I'm most keen to see to the downside, what that looks like. It's around a 10% move or so to the downside. We know that's something that could happen in minutes, but that's really truly what I'm watching. And to the upside, just by the way, to the upper trend line right there, Bitcoin right around a 1.5% from that area. So Bitcoin's in a really interesting place because if you're going to track this symmetrical triangle that we just charted, this upper trend line, this lower trend line. Guess what? I didn't measure it exactly, but we are at the apex now of this one, and we're looking at a breakout coming very soon. We know 74% of the apex, we get a breakout. We got the breakout out of this symmetrical triangle back here, which I'm still tracking, everybody. I really am. We got the breakout right around 74% to the apex. The target for that is $24,000 to the downside. To the upside, we were looking at probably, I think, what was it, right around $48,000. Now we have new targets to the upside out of this larger symmetrical triangle right here, around $50,000 up in this area, to the downside around $20,000 out of that symmetrical triangle. So everybody, we got to continue tracking this. Bitcoin is just keeps consolidating. It hasn't made any truly meaningful moves yet out of all of these trend lines, out of these triangles. Because we know after we got this breakout of the smaller symmetrical triangle, Bitcoin only dipped 15% out of that symmetrical triangle. And since then, it has not dipped any further. And that's something we're tracking on Bitcoin right now. So this is what I'm watching. Want to do a quick update for you as I'm just traveling. We're getting back, everybody. We're going to be in that studio. So I appreciate your patience with all of these crazy setups that I've had. But I appreciate you watching. I really do. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Let me know your thoughts below, how you're handling Bitcoin. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.